Of Ian is a weirdo. I am feeling free. I'm feeling comfortable, which is different than how I've been feeling the last couple hours. Mel and I went to a really, really fancy restaurant, probably the fanciest restaurant I've ever been in by like 1,000. And there was a specific dress code for men and for women, and like mostly for men. And I just was like so uncomfortable in like a long sleeve button up that like didn't fit my arms right. It was just a mess trying to keep my shirt tucked in the whole time. Because when you're a curvier person, it's a little more challenging. So finally back in my clothes. It feels so nice to be out of my binder. Ugh. Get misgendered a couple times at the beginning, but like everyone with me, and that was nice. I did feel pretty weird having like a ton of facial piercings and yellow hair going to a really fancy restaurant, but everyone was super cool and we had some great food. It was also very difficult for me to eat some of the food. As some of you know, I have ARFID, which is an eating disorder primarily based on textures, and they would tell you in the menu kind of what you were getting, but like they wouldn't include all of the ingredients, which is always really stressful for me. And but when they brought it out to you, they would tell you exactly what was on the plate, and I was like, shit, I can't eat half this. And then like some of the textures, like there were some moments where I like could not keep my composure. Like I managed to get everything down, which was, a good thing, but some of it was harder than others, I will admit. So it's hard when you're kind of seen as a picky eater and you go to a fancy restaurant because you're like feel bad about like asking for something different, or um like explaining every little thing that I don't like. Like, how long are we gonna be here? An hour just for me to tell you everything I don't like, and then there's this 2.5 long hour meal. So it was a little much, um, but yes. So I am making mittens. I am going to be doing a kind of, I guess, like, I don't know. I want to do stitching on top of it. So I'm using the knit stitch. I'm not great at it, and it takes for fucking ever to do, but it's yielding the results that I want it to yield, because when I do the stitching on top, I want it to be in that V shape that you get specifically with knit stitch. So um, it's taking a while, but we're getting there. So I just passed the thumb hole. I'll show you on the other hand. I'm using a 4mm hook because I wanted to have as many stitches as I possibly could, going into the width, um, to have as many options as I could for my bat design. Now, the bat design is inspired by these shoes that I found, I think, last year, and it looks very like classic American tattoo. Um, so it's going to be black, red, and yellow and white. So the black will be kind of the base, and then I'll be doing stitching on top of it, kind of like cross stitch. I thought about making these mitts, but I really want as much real estate as possible to make sure that I can fit my design on it. So I think I'm going full mitten on this one. We'll see though. I haven't mapped out my design yet, just because I wanted to see how many stitches across I could get. So I'm using my 4mm furls hook for this. I um, tried using my clover for this, but because you're kind of going in between the posts of the prior stitch to do the stitch, my clover was just too slippery. It was slipping right past where I needed it to go, and this provides a little bit of resistance so I don't slip past that stitch like I was doing with the other hook. So I always think that I'm gonna remember that I love this stitch, and then whenever I start it, I'm like, I fucking hate this. It takes forever. But it yields pretty results. So I've only done one other project with this stitch. It was with the What is the name of that? I think it's the Twisted Tones yarn from Michaels. It's wavy like a homespun or something, but it's I think a 5 weight, and I made like a headband for it. I was gonna make a hat, and I was like, "Fuck this stitch," and now I'm making a big old mitten. Now the frills does kind of get caught if you don't get like the sweet spot in between the stitches. But again, it's better than the um, clover, which is not um, not really working right now. Now, prior to the thumb, because I was going off a different pattern that used a bulky weight yarn, and so they got to finish a lot. They worked through it a lot faster than I did, but but they did not do continuous rounds. So there's a seam going up to the thumb, like the base of the thumb right here, and and they switched to continuous rounds above the thumb, which I'm happy about because it just looks better to not have a seam going up into the the mitten part. So maybe I will do a continuous round on the other one. I don't know. I want them to match because I want to potentially sell them. I don't know. If they look cool, I'm going to keep them, but I'm definitely not making another pair for anyone because again, this stitch is such a pain in the ass. If I get something that I really like, I will write a pattern for it, and then anyone can make their own, and I don't have to do this fucking stitch again until I forget how much I hate it, and then inevitably start a project doing the same stitch once again. So this is part of my whatever the name of the challenge, like blank, but make it Halloween challenge. And I pulled Mittens from the holiday kind of cauldron, and then I uh, pulled bats from my Halloween cauldron. And I've really been wanting to do something with these bats for a while because I really love the pattern so much, but I didn't quite know how to make it. I guess I could have knit the mittens. I did try really, really fucking hard to do this on the knitting machine on my Addy. But here's the thing, I'm just not good at using the Addy. Like, I tried and tried and tried and tried, and I could not, for the life of me, make it work. So I am selling my Addy. Hey Lydia, welcome in. I hope you're feeling better. So I tried making it work on my Addy. I'm not good at knitting machines. I'm just not good at knitting machines. So if you want a knitting machine, I'm selling my Centro 48 pin, which is not in great condition. It's dropping a lot of stitches. I don't know why, because all the parts look pristine. Like none of the parts are worn down or anything. So I don't really know what's wrong with it. So I'm willing to haggle on the price that I posted on Army of Weirdos. And then I have a 22 pin Addy Express machine that I'm selling as well. So if you're interested in knitting machines, then let me know and we can hook something up. Especially if you like want to buy like a couple of the things that I listed, um, then yeah, let me know. Now, for this mitten, I am using Premier Basics. Once again, I'm not impressed. I'm just not super impressed with this yarn. It's more splitty than I would like. It is just kind of more inconsistent, I guess is the best way to put it. Some people, this is their favorite like value yarn, and I just can't say that you're feeling better today than you have. Well, that's so good. I just don't get it. I don't agree. This is one of my least favorites, and it's one of the most expensive basic yarns. So I'm using the crochet V-stitch or knit stitch, so it looks knit, but is crocheted. And then I made a ribbed collar, not collar, ribbed, whatever this is, wristband thing, whatever. So I'm moving my stitch marker up. I was saying earlier that I went to a nice dinner with Melanie for her birthday, like the nicest place I've ever been. And I felt so out of place and just like a freak of nature. Like the crowd there was like older, and like most of the wait staff was like on the younger sides, probably all younger than us, but or the same age as us. But everyone who was dining seemed older. So that was, an experience. It was a little tough being, I guess, what's labeled as kind of like a picky eater, because there were just a lot of textures that were explored that I don't particularly like. So it was a little challenging, not to like, look a gift horse in the mouth, but it was just kind of like there were some parts that were pretty tough to swallow. It's been rough, though. I had to call in sick 2 times. Oh, I'm so sorry. I know you've been struggling so hard with your health this fall, and for a while. So I hope you can find some relief soon. I'm glad that you had a better day today than you have been having, because you've been going through it. I know. Now I do want to draw attention to Winter's pattern that they sell. Winter has been kind of having, well, Winter's been kind of needing some help from the yarn gang. So if you are looking for any patterns, I definitely recommend looking at Winter's first, because they have a lot of really cool stuff. And so I'm going to pull up their links and I'm going to post them in the chat. So trying to find where they posted like all of their links, because that would be like the easiest for me. But let's see. I know they're on Etsy. I know they're on Ravelry. Sorry, I just want to find these links. Sorry, this is taking a minute. So whether you are a new crocheter or a more experienced crocheter, there is a lot of different patterns for you to try. Where is that freaking post that they had? There was so many. There was a post where they had literally all of their links, and I'm really looking for that. Okay, if you want Winter's links, let me know, and I will find them for you. Lydia, I know you're more of a knitter, so I don't believe they have any knit patterns, but I could be wrong. I believe they're on Ravelry as Winter Nightmare Crochet or like something like that. The hardest part of doing this knit stitch is doing it in all black because it's like trying to find like the fucking like one part of the thread that like peeled off when you pulled your stitch through. I love the way this stitch looks. I hate doing it, but I could complain about that all night, but who wants to hear that, right? I know I've been a little bit more absent when it comes to YouTube. I did do that giveaway, and I'm waiting for Darsha to get back to me. So I'm going to try to reach out to her and make sure she knows that, like, how to reach out to me so that we can get her goodies. Otherwise, I'll have to redraw. And I feel really bad because, like, obviously, like, it sucks if for whatever reason you didn't see the notification and then you get passed up on with your draw in the drawing. So horrible headaches. My head is pounding big time. Stick to your stomach. I was supposed to on Virgin. I told them I couldn't. Yeah, you have to set your own boundaries when you're sick. You just got to take care of yourself. And I know that can be really hard when you're trying to be like a good mod, a good friend, but like you got to put your own oxygen mask on first. And I'm glad you did that for yourself. It's weird. I had one day where I had like a ton of trolls, and I haven't really had any trolls since. I don't really know what that's about, but I guess I just like ended up on somebody's radar who was, a finicky little bitch, and all of a sudden I had like a swarm of people trying to tell me how to live my fucking life, which was weird. Like, why do you care? Don't you have problems of your own? That's how I view trolling. It's just like you clearly just your life is too easy if this is what can derail you. So I'm trying to make my stitches look as good as possible so that it'll be easy to grid the bat pattern on top of it. And I really wanted the V shape. I can be one when I'm around you. Don't want to be around me. No, I totally understand. And like, you don't have to put on a show for anybody when you feel sick. You should just focus on taking care of yourself. I don't know if anyone has seen The Menu. It is a very good movie. And it has Ralph Fiennes in it, who, in my opinion, is one of the best. Like, he's so good at playing like these like sinister, like villainous like roles. And uh, it we basically had kind of like a tiny experience, kind of like set up like The Menu, and it was a little bit like jarring to be like, Okay, like I'm not gonna ruin the menu for anyone, but like if you want to see a good movie, I do recommend that. It is I guess in the suspense like thriller category maybe, but it's not particularly like scary at all. It's just like it's different. So it's a good movie, but it's not quite scary. And but when we had our nice dinner tonight, it was very like that, and I felt very like Anya Taylor Joy's character, where it was like, it's food. There's all these like fancy like ways to like make things, and I'm like, just take me to like a sub place or something. A lot of fast food I don't eat because of my pescatarian diet. It's not really like most fast food places are like beef place based. So, but anyways, it was fun. I definitely should have kind of voiced that I was a pescatarian ahead of time, but that can lead to its own problems. I was mad for the crochet queen, China. I texted her, I wouldn't be there. I felt bad. Like I said, you just have to put on your own oxygen mask. So if you want to see the pattern that I am planning on using, so let me find the bat. They're the coolest shoes. I don't do slip-ons like this because they tend to hurt my feet a lot, but this is the bat pattern I'm going to use or try to emulate kind of. I just really like the way it looks like a kind of traditional American tattoo style. I do love the way that that style looks, even though I don't have a single tattoo in that style and probably never will. Um, I just think it's a really cool look. Um, Damn, I didn't go through the right part of the stitch. This is what's aggravating about the stitches. You just get in there, jam it in there, pull out the right threads. Don't pull out extra threads. Damn it. It's so annoying. So yeah, so the thumb hole is already made and it's right here. And now I'm just making, I'll show you. I was gonna make fingerless mitts, but again, I want to make sure that I have enough room to put that full bat motif on. I feel like if I make a mitten, then I'll have plenty of space to kind of map out how I want to do that. Whereas if I do just like fingerless cuffs, like right here, then I might not have enough room, and I don't want that. But I also don't really want to make a thumb either. But it's weird to have a mitten and not a thumb. I don't know. Maybe I'm jaded from using my Addy machine and not being able to fucking make the thumb. I fucked that up so bad. Okay, I went in. Now let me out. I need like a different hook, but I don't know what hook to use because the clover is too slippery and the furls is too grabby. I could try my boy hook. Let me see if I have a boy. I feel like the boy is going to slip through too easily, just like the clover did. Having trouble getting even stitches because of this particular stitch, so we're just gonna work with what we got. Okay, I'll be right back. Let me go try to find a 4mm. Okay, so these are not boys. I have a 4.25, which is such a fucking random hook size. Let's see. My 4 is not in here. Great. Okay, well, we're stuck with the furls then. I don't believe I've met China, but would love to meet her. She is the crochet queen. The stitch takes fucking ever. No matter what hook you're using, this is just a really, really tedious stitch. It's because you have to make sure that you go through the right point of the stitch every single time. Otherwise, it just like doesn't look right. And then you have to make sure that you're not splitting your yarn. I wish I did pick a different yarn for this. I thought you did meet her on the panel one time. It's possible. I'm terrible with faces and names, so it's very possible that I've met her and just don't remember. Sometimes I have to meet people a couple times before I like fully put together who they are. Not their fault, my fault, but did you hear my dad? So I can share the video link for these mittens, the general mitten shape, in bulky 5 yarn. Mine is much different because I'm using a 4-weight yarn and I'm using a different size hook for them. But the kind of idea is still the same of like how you put them together and how you do the stitch. Let me see if I can find the one that it's gonna start playing. Oh, shut up. Can you help us out? Popeye Yarns. Okay, I'll have to check that video out. Obviously, I gotta see what Daniel's doing. I miss everyone in the Twisted Fiber friends. I miss them so much. I feel like I haven't been able to like stay like on anyone. Like I haven't been able to just like watch what I want to. Oh, you know what? It's on my other fucking channel, damn it. Knit, stitch, crochet. I spelled crochet wrong. Okay, and just press enter. So I was very kind of specific about what I wanted to do with these mittens. So this is by the Stitch Sessions, and this is the YouTube video that I kind of used as inspiration. Hey, Roberta. Oh, you got a new, did you get a new picture? Oh, it's your turkey. So I'm loosely basing, not super loosely basing my my mittens based on that pattern. Right now, she works 4 nights of the week. She's off 3 nights, so it would be Thursday night after her. Yeah, Thursdays are such an exhausting day for me that it's hard for me to do much on Thursdays, but I just need to be better about watching other people's lives because I want to support people. It's just I'm fucking tired all the time. I'm sleeping all the time. I guess just due to my depression, but still want to support my friends. Okay. So I'm using the knit stitch, and I tried to make these mittens on my 22 pin Addy, and I just couldn't get the thumb hole right, and I kept on dropping stitches, and it was just an unholy nightmare. So I just gave up. I'm selling my Addy and my Centros, so if you are interested in knitting machines at all, um, I am selling mine, and I'm willing to haggle if for if you want. Um, so if you're interested in those, let me know because I I want to like knitting machines more. I do. I see people create all kinds of cool stuff with them, and then I can't create anything with them. I'm just not good at it. I don't. I feel like it shouldn't be as hard as my brain makes it, but it just I don't get it. So if you want, my Addy is basically new. I mean, there's literally not one thing wrong with it other than the fact that I can't use it because I'm stupid. But okay, come on, pull through the loop. Oh my gosh. And it still wasn't in the right stitch. I hate this stitch. But I chose it specifically because it will go well with that bat motif or whatever that I want. So no pain, no gain. I don't know. I can't go through the stitch. I keep on sliding right past it. It's like super tight. One of the things about doing the knit stitch is you got to be like really cognizant of your tension because it's a lot harder when your stitch is tight to um, get in where you need to go and then to get out of it. No, that's not true. I am stupid. No, it's not just the first 3 rows. It's like, it's literally everything. I've tried making all kinds of things on the knitting machines. I just I can't do it. I don't understand it. I tried making mittens, kept on dropping stitches again and again and again and again. I'm not good at it. That's not how my brain works. And I'm done with them. I'm ready to move on to the next. Just I'm ready I'm ready to just crochet like normal. And even crocheting like normal seems to be a little bit of a task right now because I'm doing a stitch which I don't particularly like, but it looks good and yields good results, so that's where we're at. I've done the waste yarn, I've done no lubricant, I've done lubricant, I've taken apart my machines, put them back together. And like I'm in this like one knitting machine group and they're always posting no, I want them gone because they like literally it's just like a barrage of fucking cuss words every time I try. They don't make me, it doesn't make me happy though. I don't feel good when I use them. I just don't like them. It's not the craft for me, you know. So if you're in the market for a machine, just let me know. Um, I've tried to make it work. Tried to do all the patterns, the cool patterns that I was in a knitting machine group for, but nope. And then I tried to post them for sale in the knitting machine group, and everyone was harping on me for prices, and I was like, I literally don't know how to price these things. Like, I was like, I'll hackle, like I don't fucking know, but like they were just kind of being bitches about it, if I'm being frank. So I was like, whatever. I just deleted my post. No joy, get rid of it. That's my motto. That's what I'm trying to do. Get rid of it. So now I have to do the knit stitch on my mittens, which it looks okay. Like I am having a little bit of a problem with the yarn splitting around my furls. But when I tried to use my clover hooks on it, they were too slippery and they would slip right past the middle of the stitch, which is what you're supposed to go through. Um, but so it's like a little hard to do with the furls, but I can't use something that's too slippery that I can't do the stitch with. So here we are. And I could have done this in a bulkier weight yarn, or I could have doubled up my yarn to make it a bulky 5, but I really wanted to have enough stitches widthwise and lengthwise to make the bat motif that I'm going to be doing for this. This is part of my blank, but make it Halloween challenge, and so I'm making mittens, but I'm going to put a bat on them. If you are not familiar with this challenge, it's because I just made it up. And I started it, and this is the first project on that journey. And I spent so much time trying to make knitted mittens on my adding machine to just, I spent days trying to figure it out. And I was like, I don't have time for this. I'm just gonna crochet them. Yeah, you see my idea. Yep. Yeah, that was one of the ideas that I think we both had in common. So I kind of wanted to do like color work like while I was making it, but I had no idea what the scale would be. So I just, and I haven't really done any color work before, so I didn't think that working in the round in such a small space was going to be a good foray into doing that kind of work. So we're doing it the old fashioned way. I don't know, this is the old fashioned way, but we're doing it this way. I hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. It's kind of crazy to think that it's the weekend, because I just feel like this week just kind of blew by really fast. Every time I see something, I'm like, oh, this is good for you. Do you have knitting looms? They work good. I use to make my fingerless gloves. I do have some looms, some different shaped knitting, like manual knitting looms. But one, I don't have a pick, so I would have to go by that. And two, I just like it really hurts my hands. Yeah, you're up super late, Roberta. You spring chicken. So we went, I don't think you were in the room, Roberta, when I was talking about it. We went to a really nice restaurant tonight, like the nicest restaurant I've ever been to, times like a million. And It was very fancy, and they had like a dress code for the men, and I felt very like stuffy, and I had to wear like a long sleeve button up shirt and like dress pants and dress shoes. And I kind of was like, it kind of felt really like inauthentic to me. Like, not only because I like wearing t shirts and like, you know, yeah, I'm a night owl though, so it's, this is actually not too bad for me. Um, but yeah, we went to a really nice restaurant. I felt just like I was having like imposter syndrome the whole time. I was like, I shouldn't be here. Like, I have here with all of my facial piercings and my yellow hair. I felt very out of place. But the wait staff and everyone who was there was super nice to us. We overheard some fairly pretentious conversations, but didn't weren't involved in any, so that's cool, I guess. I don't know if this is a stitch and I just fucked it up, or did I miss a stitch? I feel like I might have. Oh, I never put my stitch marker back in. Oopsies. Okay. Black yarn. Gotta love it, right? When I started these, I was working it like basically in the dark, and I was like, I have no idea. I'm just like jamming my hook in somewhere. Um, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like it when you're, you know, a queer, alternative, trans person, like those places just don't always present themselves very obviously. Um, so it, uh, it was a little just different for me. And then also, like, I've have problems with eating certain things and hate black yarn. Yeah, I know a lot of people do, but man, black yarn looks so cool. Black is the coolest color, so sorry. I just wish I didn't have such split yarn. I should have used some like nicer yarn on this, but or at least some yarn that doesn't split as much. Like I have that gray mix, that dark gray mix from Caron, and Caron doesn't split too bad on me, the 1 pound. But it can be a little bit thick. It's kind of like a thick four, but it does slow me down. Yeah, this slows me down, and then the stitch slows me down, so I'm just super freaking slow right now. Because, like, in theory, mittens shouldn't take too long, but these are taking me a while. But I'm excited because I am gonna kind of draw out what I want to do, um, and kind of plan my stitches, my like top stitches accordingly, so um, we get a really nice design on it. I thought it would fit better in a knit style stitch than in a making a penguin. Yep, yeah. See, I have more trouble with lighter colors for whatever reason. I think I've just used so much black yarn that black yarn doesn't intimidate me too much. But using light colors actually really hurts my eyes. I'm like, ugh. It's like staring at the sun for me, basically. And yeah, I actually have a harder time with lighter colors personally. This one's tricky. Some of them it's such like a clear, defined V, and other times it's just impossible. Yeah, and I probably could have done the red cuff a little tighter because it's pretty loose on me. It's not like loose, it's just not very fitted, but I think it looks fine. Um, there's plenty of room in the mitten for when my hand gets wider. So all of this area I pretty much could have done without, but it's fine. There's not a whole lot of like lateral stretch to the stitch, um, or really any stretch. It's not a very stretchy fabric, um, so you kind of get what you get. But it's interesting. I can't wait to see how we close up this mitten because the video tutorial that I am following, um, would a hook size up help the tendon? It would, but I wanted to make sure I could fit as many stitches as I could, like width-wise, because I really want to make sure I have room to do the back. So I posted it earlier, but let me see if I can find it again. Yeah, so this is the pattern that, that I pasted instead of copied. Damn it. These are the shoes that I am going to make the pattern on top with. So really, I'm about a little bit more than halfway through. I have pretty like skinny, long fingers, so about halfway there, and then I've got to do the thumb because it doesn't make. I feel like it doesn't make sense to do a full mitten. I was gonna do fingerless mitts, but I want as much real estate to make the bat as possible. Although I'm more likely to wear fingerless mitts every day of the week rather than mittens. Um, I just want to make sure I have enough space because the design is a lot taller, probably about twice as tall as it is wide. Um, but the knit stitch is a pretty wide stitch. Yeah, isn't that back cool? I love those shoes. I don't really like slip-ons very much, so I'm not going to get the shoes. But yeah, I think that I really thought that um, due to kind of like the flecks of white on the outside, I thought that that would be best suited for the knit stitch rather than doing like single crochets all the way around. So that's why I'm doing this particular stitch that doesn't make me particularly happy because I want this to be what I want it to be. And I always forget how much I really don't like doing this stitch. But I will say that these are very, very warm. This is all acrylic yarn. This is Mainstays from Walmart. And then this is Premier Basics. I don't really love Premier Basics. I have a couple skeins of black in it. And I don't think it's great yarn. I know it's value yarn and you know, that's fine. A lot of people really like it. But I feel like it just isn't a very consistent yarn, and it is a little piecey for my taste. So, in my like crochet style, these are for you, right? I think so. I might end up selling them, but if they look really like if they look really cool, I'm gonna keep them. If I think I'm gonna use them, um, I don't can't remember the last time I actually wore mittens. I don't know if you deserve them. Thank you. But I am planning on, if I make one and it looks cool, I am planning on making a pattern so that people can do it. And then I'll have a grid so that people can follow that. I just feel like I have enough shit that I don't need I don't need to keep making stuff for myself. I actually don't really like making stuff for myself, which I know may sound weird, but I just don't really need anything. So, not in this sense, at least. But every once in a while, I'll make something for me, and that'll be that. Like, I'm the type of person who, if I have one beanie and I have like one pair of mittens or one pair of gloves and a cowl, like that's like all I need, and then I don't need to keep making any more for myself because like I probably made it in black and it goes with everything. But because I want those shoes so bad, if I can make the bat look really cool, I'm gonna keep these gloves. I just figured getting online and hanging out with you all would be more motivating than trying to watch Schitt's Creek and and working on these in like the semi darkness. Just like a couple lamps. I need to get one of those like neck lamps that you see a lot of people having these days. They make working with black yarn and poor lighting so much easier. Now, I'm really lucky because I bought this. I have a ring light that can hold my phone, and it's like a little arm. I've only have a few slippers. Uh, yeah, I have a couple pairs of slippers that are just like store bought, and I like those better because I have really bad knees actually, and I need really supportive shoes, like orthopedic shoes. Yeah, I originally got the 22 pen Centro to make socks, and then I actually really hate making my the Centro was garbage. Toss that one. And then I got the Addy Express to make socks, but I really hate like if you're just gonna cinch the end of the sock. I just don't like how that feels on my toes. So I'm just hard to please, I guess. Which I've never had that complaint. So I did see a lot of people saying in the giveaway that they would make slippers, and I was like, that's so smart of an idea, but I need more cushion than that because I have super high arch and my knees hurt all the time. I don't sell crap. And the thing is, I don't know how people sell blankets because it's so much work. It takes so many hours. Even if you're a fast crocheter, like the amount of yarn you use and the amount of time it takes to make a blanket is so long that like I don't know how you could ever charge enough to like make money off of doing that as like a business. But hey, some people do it and they're just working out just fine. But that's kind of why I keep my projects small because I'll actually finish them. Any large project pretty much might as well just end up in my whip bag automatically because I'm just not good at finishing things. Like, if I can't get this bat motif right, or if I can't get the thumb right, you won't see me make publish a pattern for this. Ugh, I wish I wasn't using the furls, but I know the furls are saving my wrist. I'm just gonna complain about that some more. Only wear slippers when cold. Yeah, I have a pair of UGG slippers that are like trans colors that my sister bought for me. And I never thought in a million years I'd be like a slipper person, but they really have made me a slipper person. um, and I have these like rubber ones that are really cushy that I got from Amazon that were like maybe like $14 or something. I sold 2 Mandela blankets, but I don't really sell blankets. Yeah. I'll do baby blankets all day long because those are so much smaller. But as far as anything else goes, nope, not for me. Even like a Lapgan is just too much for me. I'm really impatient though. I like immediate results. Ugh, did not go into the right spot. Okay, come here, you little bitch. You talk nicely to crochet, you don't get anywhere. You have to be mean and rough with it. It's a glutton for punishment. Last 30 row section of the mosaic. Oh, that's awesome. That is, I can't wait to see that done because your work so far is just absolutely stunning. It is so gorgeous. I have a couple a couple of mosaic patterns that I've bought, but I've been yet to like do any of them because something else always kind of pops up in front of it. Um, but I really want to do more mosaic because it's just so cool looking, and it's kind of like mind bending to me how you can make that into like a really cool pattern. Um, okay, find the piece, stick it in there. The pros to a resin furls for this stitch is that one, it's a little pointy at the end, so you can poke right into where you want to, in theory. Um, and it also has a little bit of drag on the acrylic yarn, so it doesn't just slip right past where you're trying to actually weasel your way in. The con is that especially with the smaller hooks, um, the hook is so pointy that it kind of tends to grab some yarn if it's piecier yarn. It's not wound very tightly, and you end up pulling some of that yarn with you, and you're like, I don't want that. Honestly, I love the bells. I think they look so cool. I love the ombre on the bells. I think that it adds like such cool dimension. So, I mean, I can understand if it's not your favorite, but like I think it made it like elevated the way the blanket looked. So I think it's really cool. And I always get so inspired by seeing other people's work, that made me just want to do mosaic work that much more. So, yeah, for this pattern that I'm following, um, following is kind of like a loose term because I am doing it with different size yarn. I have different measurements for everything, but really it's just kind of make it fit for you. Um, the the yarn that she used was bulky, and I think she used an 8 millimeter all the way up until she got to the end, and then I think she went down to like a 6 millimeter or something. and I'm not planning on moving my hook size down, so we're gonna see how that works. But who knows? Maybe I'll just end up cinching the top, and that'll be it. Yeah, I do have. I started a mosaic. Actually, I've started two mosaics. I have one that's like eyes, and then I started doing a mood blanket at the beginning of the year that I haven't continued. And this is the mood blanket. So you can see the back. I every stripe was a mood, and I had like a chart for it. So instead of doing a temperature blanket, I did a mood blanket. But this is the mosaic. It's just a really simple, like, 2-row repeat. Um, but then where is my whips bag? I moved everything pretty recently, so now I'm like, oh, I think it's actually it was in my bag when I went to treatment. But it is the I think Lydia fell asleep. She deserves to sleep. She hasn't been feeling well. Um, uh, but yeah, so I really love Sixel Designs. She does a bunch of really great alternative types of uh, mosaic crochet patterns. And they're all pretty small, like motifs. I'm using that word a lot. I hope I'm using it right. And but they're all pretty small. But sixeldesign.shop. But she does the coolest stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I love all of it. I always want to buy all of it. So like that's all of her design. She has a book that she just put out, I think, this year on what she did. Let's see. So I have um, I think I have a Halloween pack that has the bats, the cats, and maybe pumpkins, and then I have the eyes pattern. But so I think I'm gonna do finish the eyes eventually, hopefully. I really like her hand ones as well. And then she'll sell stuff in like kits and stuff like that. Not everything is goth or something like that. Like she's got a leopard, she's got trees, she's got Christmas lights, snowflakes, stuff like that. Oh, I did get the RIP coffin bag pattern because that book bag looks like my dream backpack, even though I don't have any need for a backpack. So I think I'm gonna finish here for right now. Pull my yarn out a little bit, see where I'm at. I think that this is gonna be my right-handed glove because the seam goes right here, and I'd prefer not to have my seam on the top side, although it's not too noticeable. It's noticeable to me, but I want to have as many stitches here as possible to make that bat look cool. But I wonder, I'm gonna so I found some like knit graph paper uh that you can like um you can download and print. I didn't find any for free that was big enough that I could like easily put all together. So, but there's the stuff that there's only like a dollar. I think the stuff I was looking at was like $1.30 or something for like a downloadable PDF of graphs. And it's not just regular graph paper. Um, it's actually in like the V shape. And why that's important for me is because I'm going to be utilizing only some of like the V. Where's the fucking graph paper? It was a PDF. This is annoying. I found it on my phone super easily, and now I can't find it on my laptop. I was thinking about maybe making my own, but if it's super cheap, I don't see any reason why not to support another crafter. Okay, maybe this is it. Yeah. So, boop, boop, boop. Yeah, so that is the paper I was going to use, and then I can, if I'm only going to use half of the V of the stitch, then I can easily do that. And then I can do it on the computer so that it's a little bit easier to kind of work with. So I think that's what I want to do, and I think it'll be tall enough that I can fit the whole bat thing on it. Because yeah, if you look at the portrait page, that's like plenty. So yeah, and then I can just pull that into like Microsoft Paint and just fill in stuff. Yeah, no, I'm about to hop off too. I hope you have a great night. It's great to see you, Roberta, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.